Skywarding Mom. Today I am going to make something sweet, something spicy, something you put on as a topping. It is cowboy candy. I have heard everybody talking about it on YouTube. My sister has made some. And my neighbor gave me a jar of it, and I ate it all on crackers with a little bit of cream cheese and a little bit of the cowboy candy on top. Oh, it was amazing. It was so good. You can use it as a topping for chili dogs, hot dogs, hamburgers, tacos, burritos. There is so many things that you can use it for. And when you're done making the cowboy candy, there's always some leftover syrup. I haven't made it yet, so I don't know this, but my sister said that she had this leftover syrup and she didn't know what to do with it, so she threw it away. But you can make a barbecue sauce with it. You can make margaritas with it. You can make a glaze for your ribs. There is all kinds of stuff to use with that simple syrup. So I'm going to make cowboy candy and barbecue sauce. But doesn't margaritas sound divine? I've had one at the Waterfront Depot, and I think that's what they do. It's so good. I don't know what kind of alcohol they use. I'm going to have to find out, because if I have just a little bit left, I might have to make me a little margarita with a little bit of that cowboy candy on top as a garnish. Oh, that just sounds so good. So we're going to get started. I'm going to grab my gloves, wash up the jalapenos, get those sliced up, and get some jars sterilized and stuff. It's kind of all of a process, but it doesn't take that long to make. So it's going to be kind of simple. 30 minutes total, maybe a little bit longer, especially because I'm trying to film this by myself. I have washed my jalapenos. Ooh, I'm going to get a little bowl. That's what I'm going to just discard my things in. I need them 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to go like this. And I am not going to de-seed mine. I want mine spicy. And these gloves are too big. It's so funny. I got them from work. We've got either small or extra large gloves. In my hands, I need the large gloves. The smaller for my boss. She's got tiny little fingers. But you can make this less spicy by taking the membrane and all those seeds out. That helps. But here in Oregon, I don't think our jalapenos are that spicy. You need a lot of sunlight. I usually don't wear gloves, but so that I don't get this stuff in my eyeballs and in my cuts. I got a couple cuts on my fingers right now from the bleach water. Today is my dad's birthday, so I called to wish him a happy birthday and ask him how things are going. And him and my stepmom have the flu, and she has a lot of medical issues and stuff. She was born like that. I'm going to throw that one away. It's a little brown. So she was hospitalized for a few days, and he said he was at the hospital, and just in the emergency room, there was so many people just throwing up and sick and everything. And so, it's that time of year. Make sure you wash your hands. Somebody sneezes around you doesn't necessarily mean that they're sick, but make sure you've got your vitamins and stuff, Guess what? Jalapenos, cayenne pepper, all that stuff helps you stay healthy. I don't know why, but the vitamins in it, the capsaicins, something. But if you eat good, you exercise, you take your vitamins, drink lots and lots of water, that really helps. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So we had that big storm this morning, and it's going to get cold this weekend, and we're going to have snow. But it is winter. Yes, we're just getting into winter. This is the first time this year that it's actually gotten cold. We had a little frozen spell, but only for a couple days. Okay, we're going to cut the rest of these jalapenos, and we'll come back here in a little bit and show you the rest of the recipe. It's really simple. It's going to be over at the stovetop. We're going to cook up that, the apple cider vinegar. You can use regular vinegar, apple cider vinegar, whatever you like better. And some seasonings and a whole bunch of sugar. "20 jalapenos cut in a 1/4 inch-ish. Now we're going to move on to the stovetop and get all that simple syrup going. I'm going to take off these gloves and wash this knife and get all this jalapeno juice off. I think I have all of my ingredients ready to go. On the stovetop here, we need 2 cups of apple cider vinegar or just plain vinegar. I'm going to use apple cider vinegar. I'm worried it might make it too strong of a flavor. But it's trial and error. And then I need 2 cups of sugar and 2 cups of brown sugar. I'm almost out of brown sugar in this bag. It's not agreeing with me. And while I am making the simple syrup and stuff, I am also sterilizing my jars. but 2 cups. A lot of sugar. Okay. I have got my recipe here. And it's the first time I've actually done this. So I've got some turmeric, and I found some organic turmeric. I'm hoping it doesn't have any lead in it. Ooh. I need 1 teaspoon of that. My recipe disappeared on me. Yes, 1 teaspoon of turmeric and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to do the garlic powder first. Had everything ready, just not open. It's so funny. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of the garlic powder going in. 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Turmeric is so good for your joints. It's so good for all kinds of stuff. And that, it gives it a lot of color too. And we are going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Yes, I know, I'm thinking more spice. If you do not like spice, do not eat this. And we are going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of celery seed. So, funny story, history of my mother-in-law and father-in-law. My mother-in-law cannot have any heat whatsoever. So, like when I make chili and stuff, if I make chili, I can't add a lot of chili powder and cayenne or anything to it to make it too spicy. I can make a little bit for her and then add the spice I need later for us. But she was just getting together with my father-in-law, and he was cutting an apple for her and sharing it. And he was using one of his knives, like pocket knives, I would say, and stuff. They were probably on a date, maybe walk or something, and he cut her apple and fed it to her, and it had jalapeno juice on it, and she just about died. It was so hot. I'm looking at this color going, wow, this is so weird. Okay, so what I need to do is bring this to a boil and then let it boil for 5 minutes. And then I'm going to add the jalapenos to it, and we're going to let it boil and simmer for another 4 minutes. And then we're going to remove the jalapenos into the jars, sterilized jars with a slotted spoon, and then bring the syrup back to a boil for another 6 to 7 minutes. So I need to turn this heat on. I don't even have the heat on. I'm just looking at the color going, wow. I hope it doesn't stay that color. Okay, it's only been a couple of minutes. I've been kind of cleaning up a little bit. It hasn't came to a boil just yet. I tried it because I wanted to see what that flavor was going to taste like, and the apple cider vinegar and all those seasonings together and the sugar, and I actually can't wait to find out what it's going to taste like with those jalapenos. It's really good. I'm getting all that sugar melted. So my boss makes a simple syrup out of brown sugar, and I never heard of that before. It's really good, actually. It's different than just your plain sugar, white, clear. So with the brown sugar and sugar in this, yum. Basically, we're just making a simple syrup right now. And then we're going to add the jalapenos to it and spice up the simple syrup, and probably do the candied Cowboy candy today and the barbecue sauce tomorrow. So I've got to run to town with my husband and my son. Okay, it's boiling. I've got my timer on for 5 minutes. And once the timer goes off, we will add the jalapenos to it. I don't know about the apple cider vinegar. I probably should have done half and half, I'm thinking. Because it smells like apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is really strong, but it's really good for you. My boss actually drinks apple cider vinegar water, salt water, every day, hot water. I have 1 minute left. I'm taking my jars out of the pot so I can, they're not going to cool completely, but they're going to cool down just a little bit. And we're going to add the jalapenos to the simple syrup. I'm going to put the lid back on my pan so the water stays hot. Yum. Tastes really good. It's a sweet, spicy. Oh, there's the timer. I'm gonna add the jalapenos. I'm gonna be careful not to touch them because I don't have any gloves on. And we are going to, whoops. Oh, I gotta get that one out of that burner. We are going to bring this back up to a boil and then simmer it for 4 minutes. So I always wash off my stove. Okay, bring it back to a boil and let it simmer for 4 minutes. And it says it's the jalapenos are going to shrivel a little bit, but you're going to either can them or you're going to put them in jars and put them in your refrigerator for a couple of weeks before you actually eat them. I know it was going to be so hard, a couple of weeks, because once the jars open, they're going to be gone. So a couple of weeks in the refrigerator, up to a month, and then the syrup will actually help hydrate those jalapenos again. So I'm going to put my timer on 4 minutes. I'm not going to start it yet. I'm going to wait till it comes back up to a boil. Once it does that, then I will start my timer. If you don't can these and you're just going to refrigerate the jars, they are good up till 2 months in the refrigerator. And I'm not sure if that's after you open the jar or after you put them in the refrigerator. You can them, they're good up to a year, it says. I'm assuming it could be longer. I'm not going to say that. I don't know. If you have a sensitivity to jalapenos or heat or something, I don't recommend making this. It is going to get in your eyes and your, your nostrils and stuff. So coming up to a boil. They actually feel like they're getting soft too. I can feel it. Oh. Got my slotted spoon ready. Some of the jalapenos are stuck together still. I see a line of them together. It was funny. Gotta separate them. I got less than a minute. And it's just pouring outside. I might lose my power, so hopefully we get this done before then. Okay, we are going to turn off the heat. We're going to move this over so we can scoop some of this jalapenos into the jars. I have 6 half-pint jars. We're going to scoop the jalapenos into them and fill as many as we can. I don't think I'm going to fill all 6 of them. Wow. I might get a couple jars out of this. And once we fill the jars, I'm probably going to get 3 jars, I bet. That's crazy. I so underestimate everything. But once this is done, once I'm done scooping these out, I'm going to put the simple syrup back on for another 6 to 7 minutes to thicken it up a little bit more, to make it more of a syrup. And then we will add that to this jalapeno to make it like a candy jelly, I guess. Wow. I might get 1 more. And then all that extra juice, that's going to be our barbecue sauce. And so that margarita that I get at my favorite restaurant I like to go to, they actually put a garnish, a slice of fresh jalapenos. I might have to put half a jar in the refrigerator. I have removed all of the jalapenos from the simple syrup. We are going to bring it back up to a boil and simmer it again for 6 to 7 minutes. And then we'll let it cool a little bit. Put it in our jars. I got 4 jars out of that. and we'll fill it up to about a quarter of a headspace, and then we will seal them and put them in our water bath for 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 6 minutes, and the simple syrup has thickened up quite nicely. Once it cools down, it'll be even thicker. I could go another minute. I don't want to burn it though, but we're gonna go just a little bit longer. Take it off the heat and let it cool, and then we're gonna add it to the jars. I am absolutely loving my canning and cooking and learning new things and watching other videos from other people to learn different techniques and ways of doing things. My husband right now is watching old television shows that we have not seen before. So I have muted the volume, and I'm going to just record a little bit over this. So right now what I am doing is I am adding the simple syrup to my jars. I am leaving a little bit of head space. You want to leave some room for the air to escape, and you don't want to overfill them. You don't want them to boil over and not seal. And I was able to get 4 jars out of this. It was really exciting. But next time, of course, if I like how I made this candy, I will make more. Instead of 4 jars, I will double the batch, and I will make a bigger recipe. I am right now just getting the air out of the jalapenos and making sure that they're covered, seeing if I need to add a little bit more liquid to each jar. I'm going to add just a little bit more liquid to each jar, and the remaining liquid, that golden, delicious syrup, is going to be made into barbecue sauce. I'm going to use a little bit of vinegar to clean the rims of my jars to make sure they seal properly. And the remainder vinegar, I'm just going to dump into my water and use that in my water bath to keep the water clear. I've never had issues with my water hazing up or clouding up or anything, but I just recently found out that it does help a little bit. So we'll just use it in our water instead of dumping it out. I have sealed my jars. I am now putting them in here to water bath them for 10 minutes. As soon as the water comes up to a roaring boil, we will start the timer. That is my simple syrup for my barbecue sauce. We're almost ready to take our jars out of our water bath. The timer is going to be going off in a minute, and we will set it for 5 minutes to let it cool before we take them out and put them on the counter.